Welcome, everyone, to the last race in the round of 16 for the HTL Cup Series playoffs. Welcome to Monday Night HTL on ABN. GeauxTime cards 400 tonight, 125 laps. 16 drivers enter chasing championship ambitions. 8 of them will no longer have that ability after tonight. Who is that going to be? We're going to find out here momentarily. Qualifying underway here in California. Let's get down to business here in Fontana. I'm glad you're with us here on Monday night. Action begins next. It's the GeauxTime cards 400 here in Fontana. What was HTL Speedway, now what is remembered as California Speedway. Just 30 minutes northeast from Metro LA. One of the most fondly beloved tracks that's ever really existed in the 21st century here. Opened back in 1997. Hosting races in real life all the way up until 2023. It is a driver-centric track. It is a fan-favorite track. And once again, in the playoffs for the HTL Cup Series, this time as the elimination race for the round of 16. This is how things look going into tonight's race in California. John Hagan, Tucker Sawyer, they're marked in yellow. They are locked in to the HTL Cup playoffs, the Championship 8, beginning next week in Atlanta. Those in Siam: Hunter Peach, Josh Susi, Eli Sasek, Jeremy Braille, Josh Arnold, David Smith Jr. Not locked in by any stretch of the imagination. And this race has been a wild race historically. Things can change on a dime. Those on the outside of the top 8 looking in. Your rookie of the year for season 6. Mark Kissenweather, Chad Slotsworth, Lily Sharp, Blake Henderson, all on the outside looking in. As is Caitlin Height, Bailey Thompson, Kyle Taub, and Josh Gaiman. Josh Gaiman now in need of a miracle. Caitlin Height winning last week at Talladega will need more help here tonight. As we mentioned, qualifying currently underway. 17 drivers have already set lap times. John Hagan beginning his run now. He won back in Darlington, but the rest of the round of 16 has not been kind to your 6-time race winner this season. Finished off the lead lap, a lap down at Watkins Glen, crashed both in Talladega last week and at Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. So it has been anything but kind. Hagan goes third fastest though, qualifying still strong. For John Hagan, he goes third. Sharp now joining the racetrack. business picks up more and more. Swatsworth goes 11th fastest. There's 30 cars for tonight's race here in California. See what Louis Sharp can do. We've not seen from Sharp, Mangold, Taub. Taub is unable to set a lap time, crashed in qualifying or spun in qualifying. So he is attempted and will start near the back of the field no matter what. We have not seen from Brent Roberts, Zach Meredith, Richard Cody, but a lot of these drivers are on lap times now. See what they can do. Jonathan Adams currently on provisional pole, and it's not even close right now. 39.18 for Adams compared to a 39.3 for Josh Susie. John Hagan there sitting in third. Patrick Overstat, Mark Kissenweather, Josh Arnold, and Caitlin Height, your top 7 as things sit. Let's see what Lily Sharp can do finishing her lap here. You only get one in qualifying here in HTL. A little loose there using the apron for Sharp. And it's only enough for 23rd. Lap time, not what she was hoping to be, 39.767. That is almost 6/10 off of the top of the board. Brent Roberts also on a lap time back in that car that he won with in Las Vegas. 2-time race winner of the season, both times in that sheets number 8. First race win in his HTL career in Atlanta as a super sub for Steven Oberstadt in Carolina Beagle Racing. Ended up repeating that moment in Las Vegas with support from Patrick Oberstadt. So here's the 8 car finishing his qualifying run. And Brent Roberts goes top 10, 9th fastest, 39.370. He is in the ballpark, although 2/10 still shy of Jonathan Adams. Zach Meredith has gone to 2nd place. He has closed in within 100th of a second of John Adams, but not enough to go to pole position. So it is Meredith, who, as we mentioned in last week's broadcast, most consistent he's been in his career. And he's adding to it now with qualifying acumen, starting this race provisionally on the front row. In and out, number 25, Blake Henderson, one of the last ones to set a lap time here. New look on the Tombstone Motorsports 25 tonight. In and out, a staple on the West Coast. He's 20 points out of the championship 8th. So he needs all the luck in the world right now to get in. Lap time on the board, 39.378. That's enough to go top 10. Dustin Hall not completing a qualifying run either. It'll be Kyle Taub and Dustin Hall at the very tail end of this field. As time gets ready to expire here in qualifying, it took all 10 minutes of the allotted qualifying time to get 28 lap times on the board. It is Jonathan Adams and Zach Meredith that will lead the field to green. Jonathan Adams on pole position, Zach Meredith on the front row. Jonathan Adams going into tonight, no pole positions. That will change in his 26th start. 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s. He's looking to add to both of those here tonight. And you look at Zach Meredith's stats. So your front row starters, 76 starts, still no pole positions. Very, very close here tonight, but we'll still have a goose egg in that column for at least one more week. 2 wins. He's still looking for his third. His still looking to end that winless drought, going all the way back to his championship season in season 3. 11 top 5s, 30 top 10s. He's been on an incredible run of form. this past the entire past month of June. He's been outstanding. So warm-up is underway here in California. So let's go ahead and go over some things as we get ready to go. First of all, a shout out to the race sponsor tonight, GeauxTime Cards. It's the GeauxTime Cards 400 here, that QR code bottom left of your screen. We've seen a couple of these sponsors throughout the season. GeauxTime Cards, pre-owned sports cards from all eras, all different sports involved as well. NFL, NASCAR, baseball, basketball, you name it, they're in it. Looking to complete a set or start up on the collecting hobby, that QR code will be where you begin that journey. Glad they're supporting this race here tonight. The drama will intensify, and they are going to get a very special show here tonight. California Speedway, or as we know it as California Speedway, 2 miles around. Same length as that of Michigan Speedway. But a little bit quicker, a little bit wider. 14 degrees of banking in the corners. It is symmetrical across all 4 corners. Turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, all 14 degrees. 8th time HTL has come here, period. 5th time it's been in the playoffs. Josh Ducey's been a winner of this race twice. Casey Wygent, Hunter Peach, Caitlin Height, Matthew Boone, and Nate Estep, all winners here in Fontana. Lee Sharp, who did not qualify well tonight, will start this race from the back 10. Has the race record on track here in season 4, 39.043. We'll see if that gets broken here tonight. Stages, lap 25 and lap 70. There's no stage breaks. No more stage breaks the rest of the season, including the next 3 races. The championship round on July 21st in Kentucky, July 14th at Bristol, and next Monday at Atlanta. No stage breaks. So if you want to get those stage points, you got to think outside the box to do so. Speaking of which, only 3 races left to go in this season. The championship 8 is approaching. By the end of the night, we'll know who's in and who's out. So it looks like that is the 90th Clavet that goes for a bit of a ride. And we'll reset here. Everyone trying to figure out pit entry. Everybody's expecting green flag pit stops. 125 laps in this race. If it goes green from bell to bell, it'll be just over an hour long. But as I mentioned before, we've seen some drama. We've seen some things, and we've seen some cars deal with a lot of oversteer. The car get loose and really step out and require the driver's full attention tonight to see how that plays an effect. The dirty air has been amplified. We've seen that over the last couple of weeks. This is about the most unwieldy it'll be for the remainder of the season. So, gonna be a thriller here in the shadow of LA. Chad Swatsworth, currently your fastest driver in warm-up. He's got all the work in the world to do. Make sure he stays, or maybe really get into the top 8 here. As I mentioned before, standings as they come. He is 12 points out. Very reasonable with the 20 stage points available. On top of the race points, very easy to work that deficit back in. Sharp's not out of the range of possibility as well, although starting down the order will hurt. Henderson in a really good spot as well, 20 points out, but will start top 10 tonight. So let's get down to business. It is time to go racing. Here in California, the sun begins to set on the West Coast, and 30 drivers will get ready to end the round of 16, either as championship contenders or as spoilers here tonight. starting grid going to be at the bottom of your screen here. It's going to be a very special front row. Jonathan Adams and Zach Meredith, non-playoff drivers at the front of the field. Jonathan Adams, first career pole. Meredith still looking for his first career pole. He'll settle for a front row start, though. He is in second. Playoff drivers in row 2. Josh Susie, the main native, alongside John Hagan, 6-time race winner, trying to go after Susie's win record in a single season. Susie's record is 7. Hagan's got 6. Entering the 9th. Patrick Overstat, podium in Las Vegas, a struggle in Talladega. Let's see what he can do. The intermediates have favored the 60 car this go around. He'll start alongside the Rookie of the Year this season, Mark Kissenweather, in row number 3. Josh Arnold and Caitlin Height in row 4. Josh Arnold carrying the sponsors on board, GeauxTime cards on board. He'll be in 7th place on the grid. Bren Roberts and Blake Henderson in row 5. Bren Roberts, 2 race wins this season, including 2 weeks ago. Can he get his 3rd here tonight? Blake Henderson trying to make the championship 8. A win would do just that. He'll start 10th. Ross Baxter in 6th alongside Josh Gaiman. Josh Gaiman missing last week's race. No longer eligible. He is eliminated from the playoffs officially. Now looking to play spoiler. He'll be in 12th place. Dale Markowski and Tucker Sawyer in row 7. Markowski for Carolina Buell Racing. They've had a great time overall, excusing Talladega, but Markowski's seen a lot of technical issues last couple weeks, hoping those have been resolved. He starts 13th alongside Sawyer, who's locked into the championship 8. Chad Spotsworth, Jimmy Grayall in row number 8. Spotsworth, remember, outside by 12 points from being in the championship 8. Grayall on the inside with a phenomenal run so far in the round of 16. Tyler Ratliff looking for his 2nd career top 10. He'll start in 17th place alongside Eli Sasek, who is pretty safely in the championship 8. However, starting this slow road really low down the order at a track that has traditionally not done him favors. Keep an eye on that 9 car to see if there's any trouble early on tonight. Alfred Denny and Elias Flores make up the top 20. Denny in 19th. Once again wearing the Blankenship Freight Lines colors. Flores, home race for him, traditionally speaking. He'll start in 20th. Davis Mood Jr. and Hunter Peach, they make up row number 11. Not really where either of them want to be as drivers in the top 8 trying to stay that way. They also make up some ground early. They did not qualify well at all. Zach Apperson and Austin Mongol, they'll make up row number 12 behind them. Apperson grabbing a phenomenal result the last couple weeks at Talladega. Finished in the top 5 at Talladega last week, but not having the same fortunes carry over to qualifying. Richard Odie and Daley Thompson round out row 13. Odie in 25th, Thompson in 26th. Thompson needing a miracle to make the playoffs. Lee Sharp and Dean Clavitt make up row 14. And as we mentioned, Dustin Hall and Kyle Taub not finishing qualifying. They will start from the rear of the field as we get ready to go racing here in California. Round of 16 comes to an end tonight. The GeauxTime Cards 400 is underway. We're racing on the West Coast. Spin early, that's Jonathan Adams. Saves it. He's not the only one either, but he saves it. It is now in the hands of Zach Meredith as there was trouble further back. Caution is out. Henderson, Hagan involved. And I think we have a big one here. Oh, yes, we do. Parking lot in turns 1 and 2. Sasek involved, Kissenweather involved, Patrick Oberstadt involved. John Hagan is done. Kissenweather also, as we mentioned, involved in this. It looks like about half a dozen cars overall coming to a complete stop. Kissenweather, his championship run might be coming to a close, and it's going to be a heavy impact for both Sasek and for Henderson. And this starts really the lap before out of turn 4. John Adams gets really loose, loses the lead to Zach Meredith. Let's see if we can get a decent replay of this. So this is John Adams. And you can see here, he gets super loose already. Just gets really loose, running the middle lane. There's 5 lanes, the seams sort of dictating where the lanes are on this racetrack. Gets super loose, but he saves it. And it looks good. Does a really good job saving it. And everything kind of bottles up behind. Meredith gets through pretty clean. It is too wide there behind. Watching from the replay, Caitlin Hike gets through this pretty easily. So does Josh Gaiman, I think. The 12 of Kissenweather, the 25 of Henderson, not so fortunate here. Hagan in the 97. And we're going to see here from the spotter cam. We'll see if we can get a wider shot. There we go. That's just Hagan moving up the racetrack and dooring Henderson. There's nothing. That's cut and dry on that one, unfortunately. You can see from the spotter's cam. Hagan thinks there's no one up there. And Hagan's up. Henderson's there the entire time. Caitlin does get a huge chunk of hit. I thought that height might have gotten clear. That is not the case. So several playoff drivers involved. You see where Sasek gets a huge chunk of damage. It looks like Swatsworth gets a huge piece there as well. And everyone else scrambling to try to avoid the same fate. I hate to say it because Hagan's been so good, so hard, so much of the season. That's as boneheaded of a move as you can make. Going from the bottom lane to the top and just completely wiping out half a dozen cars. As I mentioned before, John Hagan's day is done. And a half dozen cars now needing extensive repairs. Several of them playoff drivers. Haidt, Henderson, Sasek, Kissenweather. All playoff drivers. Patrick Oberstadt and Dale Markowski also in trouble. And you're going to see it's in a long haul situation here. And most of them are going to go a lap down. Dale Markowski, his day is done. So 2 retirements early. Take a second to shout out the sponsor, one of the supporters of the HTL Cup Series, the setup provider of the HTL Cup Series, Team Conti Sim Performance. You got the QR code in 2 different locations on that left-hand side of your screen. Some drivers need it more than others, but if you need setup help, if you need development, if you need coaching for anything, whether it's the Cup Series cars, trucks, Xfinity, ARCA, Gen 4, Michael Conti, one of the best from the eNASCAR realm, able to help do just that and help you improve here in the second half of 2025. Again, QR code or type in your favorite browser, teamconti.gg for more information. First restart of the race up and coming. It is Meredith, Susie, Sawyer, and Gaiman, your top four. Several playoff drivers now in trouble on the back foot. Henderson staying on the lead lap. Several cars a lap down or out here in Fontana early. Green flag flies once again. Let's get this show back on the road. The GeauxTime Cards 400 back underway. It is Meredith at the front, Susie in second. Tucker Sawyer, not traditionally a really strong oval driver. Right now he's sitting top three ahead of Josh Gaiman. That lap, Susie on the outside lane trying to take it away from him here. Looks like the outside lane will prevail through turns 1 and 2. John Susie still battling though with Zach Meredith here. Both ends of the East Coast, Maine versus Florida. Cars make a dash on that outside wall out of turn 4. Susie leads the way. So you're trying to stay ahead of Josh Gaiman, who is sitting out in a solid 4th. I believe that is a CCW car for Josh Gaiman tonight. Could be foreshadowing. Right now sitting right on the tail of Josh Susie. Battle further back. This is still in the top 10. Thompson, Alden, Braille. There's the tail there, and that is Davis Muno Jr. in 8th at 31. That vibrant 31 car in 8th place. Lee Sharp all the way up to 9th place. Remember, Sharp started this race all the way back down in 27th. Started this race inside row number 14. Up 18 spots already. Trouble, cars loose. You saw the tire smoke there. That was Susie, that was Braille. So 2 of them got loose there. These rubber seams, you see the black lines that separate the lanes on this racetrack. They are a different temperature. They are a little different compared to the asphalt you see around the rest of the racetrack. If you ride those seams for too awful long, you will lose grip and you'll begin to feel that car step out from behind you. It gets loose. The rear end begins to try to lead the car. That's what happened with Susie. That's what happened with Braille. Braille moved out of the top 10. Susie from the lead down to 3rd. Josh Gaiman now in 2nd place. Meredith back out front by over half a second. Henderson hanging on for dear life right now. Last car on the lead lap. Caitlin Hyde back on the racetrack. 7 laps down, but is the only lap down car at the moment. Patrick Overstadt still in pit lane. Same with Eli Sasek. Mark Kissenweather, his day is done. So 3 retirements from that lap 3 caution. Kissenweather, Markowski, and Hagan all out early on. A little bit of a step out there by Josh Gaiman. Might give his teammate Josh Susie an opportunity to go back to 2nd place here. But a rough start for some drivers here tonight. He did put his hand up and take responsibility for that, as we saw on the replay. Really loose there by Josh Gaiman, and Susie not really able to avoid doing anything because he was battling the same battle. But here comes Tucker Sawyer. What could be his strongest looking oval performance so far, obviously early doors, but right now looking pretty good. Gaiman struggling as this run goes along. Most of the field that was not involved in that lap 3 caution did not come down pit lane. Stage 2 ends on lap 25. Or stage 1 ends on lap 25. There's no stage break. So you just kind of go for track position and try to gun it. Should be easy to do here. No pit stop required to get to lap 25. But some drivers showing that it is not all it's cracked up to be right now, and that it is an absolute handful. Thompson, though, and Sawyer, leave it to those two to punch above their weight class. We saw Thompson do this at Michigan. Very similar profile between Michigan and Fontana. Thompson was strong at Michigan, expected to be strong here. We're seeing that 27 car just up the road, battling for 3rd place. Thompson enjoys having that car a little bit more free, getting that in spades here so far early going. The track temperature will lower as the sun sets, and the grip will come back to the race car. The question is it going to be enough to offset the temperature difference between the rubber seams and the track itself to be able to allow people to move freely between the lanes and the corners? You see how much everyone's trying to use as much racetrack as possible here, making passing difficult for those that have it put together. For those that are still figuring it out, passing's going to come in spades. Gaiman thinks he's got it figured out. He's closing in less than 4/10. Steps out a little bit again in turn 4. His kryptonite right now. And he'll drop down another 2/10. Now off by half a second. Seems like he's got a better handle of it in turns 1 and 2 than he does on the other half of the racetrack. Right now it seems like the outside lane is the safest lane to run in. Gaiman running a little bit lower, trying to get some clean air on the nose of that Chevy Camaro. Try to close that gap in. Away. On lap 18 of 125. Kind of calming down at least a little bit here. Battle further back between Flores and Swansworth. That is for the 13th position. Flores, San Francisco native. Sonoma traditionally is home track. It's not a track we often see on ABN screens. Has to settle for tracks like Fontana and Laguna Seca. We did have some of this season. Flores has had an actual home race, but this is still a home away from home. Saw off the road there, Davis Booth Jr. inside lane, trying to get around, and does get around Lily Sharp. Ratliff there in the 54. Also getting ahead of Zach Apperson, 9th and 10th for them. Ratliff looking for his 2nd career top 10. Safari's in 9th place. He's got it right now. Alfred Denny 11th, Ross Baxter 12th, Flores and Swansworth battling it out. Further down the order, we saw those two. And into this group is where you'll find Austin Mongold in the 29. Jerry Brayout, after his little excursion, getting loose there in turn 4 on that restart. Right now sitting down in the 20th spot. Nick Clavitt in 21st position. Richard Odie in 22nd. Blake Henderson damage still on that 25 car. But he knows he's got to stay out and hope another caution comes out here before he gets lapped here. He's already 2/3 of a lap down. Sorry, he's just a little over half of. I had champ car times on my mind there. He is about half a lap down. Average lap time here is about 40 seconds right now. He is 22 seconds off the race lead. So he's only half a lap down at the moment, but he's slower than everyone else. You see the damage on that 25 car, not a full repair done for him. He was just thinking, try to get on the lead lap, or try to stay on the lead lap and try to grind forward. Everything settled down a little bit as this race spreads out. No stage breaks means that it should stay that way for a little bit. Still leads the way. He has led a healthy chunk of laps here. Coming to, oh, whoa, he gets stung, Huge spin by Meredith, cautions out for the second time. That's exactly what Henderson needed. And I think that was off the nose of Josh Gaiman, who takes the lead over. Second caution of the night brings stage one to a close. Thankfully, no significant damage for Zach Meredith. Bailey Thompson had to go down pit lane to avoid hitting him. Austin Mongold also took an excursion through the grass. So everyone had to scramble there. This is what happened. This is on your screen, the replay. No, that is not on. I mean, I think Cayman might have finished him off, but you can see there, really good look. Head on at Meredith. He was already loose well before Josh Gaiman got to him. Gaiman was just running the lower lane. He does finish him off there, but Meredith was definitely well on loose, and looks like so was Thompson. So Thompson may have already had trouble there and just came down pit lane to avoid further chaos there. Caution comes out. That's called automatically based on proximity to the racetrack and to other cars. And Meredith will drop down to the back of the field, but will live to tell the tale. It'll be Josh Soucy. Find Josh Gaiman on pit stops here. Wait for the pit stop. Wait for the lap ticker to get updated here, but it should be that of Josh Gaiman that leads the field here over Tucker Sawyer, over Josh Soucy, Tucker Sawyer, Josh Arnold, really sharp. With that, we are going to step aside for our first break of the night, a very short one. But it is the GeauxTime Cards 400 here in Fontana as the sun continues to set. Action-packed opening 25 laps. Stay tuned. Playoff drivers in the top 5 over the place. Josh Susie, Tucker Sawyer, Josh Arnold, Lily Sharp, and David Smeal Jr. all in your top 5. Chad Slotsworth in 6, makes it 6 for 6 at the front of the field here in California. Stage 1 has been brought to a close. Field's on the back straightaway as we get ready to go back racing here for the GeauxTime Cards 400. We're glad you're with us for all the racing set to come. Last race in the month of June. 3 races remain after tonight, all of them in the Championship 8. Pick up once again to kick off stage number 2. Lap 26 begins with the roar. 24 race cars. No retirements from that last caution. One notable thing, Josh Damon somehow went a lap down in that whole exchange. Not sure what happened to the 33, but he is at the back of the field here, a lap down officially. Caitlin Height got a lap back and now only 6 laps down. Gaiman has lost 2 laps as a result. See everyone fanned out a little bit further back here. That's Jimmy Brayall about thereabouts where the 3 wides are. Now Taub trying to make his way forward. Like Henderson got some more repairs done on his car. See if he can get that 25 back in competing condition, but you see the damage on him. As all these cars go by, still looking pretty rough right now. Getting passed by the 54 of Tyler Ratliff. So the struggle continues on. Blake Henderson drops back down once again to 22nd place. Trying to stay on the lead lap, as he did in stage 1. Stage 2, all the way down in lap 70. He's got a long way to go. Fuel mileage, it looks like it's going to be close to 33 to 36 laps. We saw that play out a little bit in stage 1. Everyone was good to go there. Came down pit lane because it's a free opportunity there. Reset the stage. You will need another pit stop here before stage 2 comes to a close. It is a 3 pit stop race from here. Josh Susie leads the way, but it is Tucker Sawyer and Lily Sharp, 2nd and 3rd. Lily Sharp outside of the points looking in. A win, remember, locks you into the Championship 8. Josh Susie not locked in, but in the top 8 in points. Tucker Sawyer locked in with his win at Watkins Glen, a race that arguably Sharp threw away. A couple of really bad miscues. Josh Arnold also needs a race win. David Smeal Jr. on the outside looking in, but not by much. Pull up the standings here because it is important. This is going to look very different what's on your screen right now. John Hagan and Tucker Sawyer, they're locked in. Hagan's going to be locked in no matter what, despite his retirement. His 3rd in 5 races, 3 in a row for John Hagan. Sawyer also locked in. Hunter Peach, Josh Susie, Eli Sasek, Brayall, Arnold, Smeal. It's close margins there in the top 8. Kissenweather's race is over, and so is his chance at making the Championship 8. Wadsworth, though, with a little bit of work to do. Sharp on the right foot, Henderson on the back foot, and looking like his Championship 8 hopes are down the drain. Likewise, Caitlin Height with a little bit of struggle. Haley Thompson going to struggle as well. Kyle Taub needing a lot of help. And Galen out of the running. leads the way, though. It'll be wild to see how this race plays out. Roberts battling with Kyle Taub. Taub has been on the charge. Get ahead of the 8 car here. 8 car looks pretty decent. Pretty decent in qualifying. He just hasn't had everything there so far in early stages of this race. Odie also up the road a little bit. He's in 14th right now, up 11 spots from where he started this race. Even on the 27, Bailey Thompson also trying to work forward as Odie gets loose. A little bit of tire smoke as he saves the slide. Seeing a lot of that. Hunter Peach struggled a little bit earlier on. He is down near the back of the running order. Caitlin Height there, 6 laps down. Josh Gaiman's day is over, actually. So he has joined the long list of retirements. Gaiman, Adams, Oberstadt, Sasek, Kissenweather, Markowski, and Hagen all out. 23 still running. Caitlin Height still the only car off the lead lap. Gibney Racing Division that is bookending the 23 cars running here, both leading this race and at the very tail of it. Susie trying to break the slipstream, champ car style, from the wall to the apron, back to the wall to get a wide entry into turn 3. Sawyer in 2nd, Sharp in 3rd still, Arnold in 4th. Smeals dropped down to 8th. It is Meredith, Hall, and Apperson, your top 7. Mongold rounds up the top 10 behind Smeal and Swatsworth at the moment as things sit. Susie trying to assert control of this race. He's now led 15 laps in California, 15 of 34 completed. Meredith has led a handful, I think 18 of the remaining laps. And Jonathan Adams led 2 laps early on. Everyone getting really close, flirting with that wall. Here by about 4/10 of a second. Sawyer trying to close in and will do so. Really closed in there out of turn 2. Susie tried to block, but here comes Sawyer. Sawyer goes to the inside of the racetrack. This has been where cars have gotten loose all race long so far. Susie's going to beat him to the punch on the outside lane, but Sawyer making that inside lane work. And Susie will not go through turns 1 and 2 side by side. Grabs that race lead back and holds on tight. But now Sawyer's there. Susie defends the inside lane. Sawyer doesn't bite that time. He does drive to the middle of the racetrack in 3 and 4 this time, though. Not going all the way down the running order. Low enough to get some clean air. Susie feels the pressure. Sawyer, remember, his first and only HTL Cup Series win has come on a road course at Watkins Glen. That's where all of his APN Champ Car Race wins have come from, is on road courses. He's still looking for his first major oval win. And right now he's in a really good spot to do that. Same with Sharp. Sharp's got a win on a road course as well. Won at the road course at Daytona a couple seasons ago. Has not won on an oval in HTL. Both wins in Champ Car, though, have come on an oval. Interestingly enough for Sharp. Most recently at USA, Lakeland, Florida. As these top 3 battle it out, Arnold and Swatsworth, they have made their way back into the top 5. Arnold was already in 4th, sort of just shadowing Swatsworth, though, from 9th to 5th. I do worry for Josh Susie right now, though, at the moment as things sit, because he is driving a lot harder on those tires than the likes of Sawyer and those behind him. He is driving a longer distance. You see some smoke. They're further out down the order. That is Meredith coming down pit lane. I believe that's where the smoke originated. It is. That and Tyler Ratliff. Ratliff is actually in trouble, and caution has come out. The third time tonight. I do not know if they're related. It might be for Meredith here. Let's take a look here. Indication is saying that this might be Meredith that we are showing concern about. And this is Zach Meredith we're looking at here. Really low on the racetrack, really loose once again. Blocks it down, but blocks pit entry. Yep, caution to come out there for blocking the pit entry. He was just trying to avoid spinning back in front of traffic, blocking pit entry. Another thing that draws the caution. So turn 4 once again, fighting the 17 car. This time he was already further down the running order. He will start near the back of the field once again, and this once again bails out Henderson and gives Caitlin Height another lap back. So Caitlin Height has gained 2 laps since that lap 3 caution, now only 5 laps down. Third caution of the night, and it is for Zach Meredith, center of your screen at the moment. Everyone will catch back up, and we'll see how pit stops go here. Blake Henderson catches back up as well, and you see all the work that still needs to be done on that 25 car. Goes Henderson, top of the field, don't take tires, and just work on getting that car repaired. Caitlin Height got her car completely repaired, and it took about 7 laps under green. So if you've got several minutes, try to take as much as possible here. Field comes down pit lane. Ratliff did have a spin though. That's where a lot of the smoke came from initially with Ratliff, but he avoided any carnage. So he will try to do the same thing here. The car is down the pit lane. Looks like Lily Sharp will take over the lead of the race. Indeed, she does. Fuel only stop for Sharp, tires for everybody else, and it's 4 tires for everybody else too. Susie, Sawyer, Arnold, Smeal, and Swatsworth will lead the charge on those with fresh tires. Taub with a little bit of repair being done. Looks like about 5 seconds of repair work for Kyle Taub, scraping the wall earlier. Several of those still needing some work done. Henderson and Ratliff among those that need a little bit of help. See Caitlin Height getting some service done as well after getting the free pass once again. Now only 5 laps down. Last car running in 23rd for the 3. Hunter Beach also getting some work done. Same with Tyler Ratliff. They will get ready to leave pit lane here. Richard Odie also likewise getting some work done. And we join the racetrack here. As Henderson gets his work done. Still not a completely repaired race car, but they're making progress every single time. Come down pit lane. And thankful for Henderson at this point that he has not had to worry about making a green flag pit stop yet in this race. So Sharp leads the way and chooses the outside lane. Now this does get a little bit interesting because mathematically speaking, you should be able to get to the end of stage 2 before making that next pit stop. Still requires 2 pit stops to get to the end of the race from here, but that next pit stop, that 3rd overall pit stop, should be anywhere from lap 74 to 79. So we've gotten that cleared by a decent amount. Coming to the third restart of this race. The GeauxTime Cards 400 has been dramatic. Several playoff drivers have been affected early on. Everything's up for grabs thereabouts. So get ready for our fourth restart of the race. Sorry, third restart of the race. Excuse me. Sharp and Susie, front of the field. Green flag flies, and away we go. Sharp got a really good launch. Warm tires for Sharp. Scuff tires, easier to get the temperature. Everyone else on cold tires that they've got brand new. But you'll see the trade-off that Sharp's going to have to deal with here. Fuel only means that she's got an extra set for later on in this race if we do get a bunch of cautions. How much will that matter? We'll find out. Sharp leads the way right now. Sharp's they can win now in the top 8 with light to punch a ticket with a race win. Not think about the points. So would Josh Susie and a lot of others, for what it's worth. Josh Arnold started into this race going in the positive by 8 points. Narrow margins at the edge of the top 8. Right now sitting third. Doing everything that he needs to do to secure himself a shot at the championship 8. Susie gets ahead of Sharp. Let's see how this plays out. Sawyer moving up to 4th place. Remember, everyone that came down pit lane, everyone came down pit lane on that last caution on lap 41. Sharp the only one that did not take tires. Everyone else took 4th. Far up in the fence a little bit there. I believe it was Mongo, it was. 9th place. The Dr. Pepper 29 will lose another spot here to Apperson. Sharp sits 2nd, Arnold in 3rd, Sawyer in 4th, Swatsworth top 5, Spiel in 6th. It is playoff drivers 1 through 6 at the moment. I believe it's Dustin Hall trying to spoil the party. Running on board with Dustin Hall. Right behind Davis Field Jr. Started this race 29th, set a world record lap time 9 minutes. In qualifying, besting his lap time back in Darlington. A little loose there for Hall, though. Not where he wanted to be. Got out of both that and a throughout situation there. You saw Benny get through. 21 car showing some pace as well. That Ford Mustang up the road. Hall slaps back in the 9th position. Look back, Thompson not really close enough to make any inroads beyond being in 10th. With Meredith in 11th at the moment as things sit. And it's trouble. Whoa, trouble. Car is off the racetrack. That is Swatsworth. I believe that's Arnold as well. Anderson gets around Arnold. What has happened here? It is Arnold. Is that smoke from the back of the 2 car? What has happened here? 4th caution of the night. It's the GeauxTime Cards 2 car of Josh Arnold. And they tangle up big time. Teammates here for Militia Racing Club. 3 wide behind, well, really battling with Sharp. Sharp up near the wall. Oh, Sharp gets loose off the wall there. Hip checks the 2 in front of the 18 who's coming up the racetrack. That's a wild ride for Josh Arnold. Arnold's really going to be where the caution comes out. Stationary car perpendicular to the racetrack. He's going to throw that 4th caution of the night. And once again, bails out both Blake Henderson and Caitlin Height. Height gets another lap, and Henderson gets extra time to repair that 25 car. Caitlin Height will get the free pass. There goes the mild 7, number 3. Waiting for the go-ahead to pass the pace car. Some movers and shakers on pit lane, including both of those involved in that spin, Swatsworth and Arnold. Fourth caution. Spin of Josh Arnold and Chad Swatsworth after Sharp got loose off the wall and hip checked the teammates together. Sun is completely set, so it's pretty dark out. Lights beginning to turn on here in California. You see the lights there on turns 3 and 4. Sorry, turns 1 and 2. Susie and Sharp will once again lead the field to green. This time Susie with lane choice as the race leader. Sawyer and Smeal will make up row number 2. And it'll be Alfred Denny and Zach Apperson in row number 3. Wadsworth getting some work done, and we'll go ahead and roll back out of the pit lane. Blake Henderson, though, with a little bit more work to be done in that number 25 machine. That car looking a little bit better this go around. Getting some of that front body work done. Might have a chance to be a little bit more competitive. Sitting right now in 22nd. He's been 22nd basically most of this race. So far he's been kind of just mired in misery. He'll roll out here. That car looks a lot better than what it did before. Not perfect, but perfect, something that Henderson unfortunately just can't afford at the moment. Looks like the back of the car still needs some work done, but the front of that car looking a lot more smoothed out and more aerodynamic. And able to start at the back of the field, 22nd place, as the field doubles up through turns 1 and 2. Susie also picks the outside lane this time. Sharp picked it last restart. This time it will be that of Josh Susie leads it. Less than 20 to go in stage number 2. The going green with 73 laps to go in the race. Restart zone, green flag flies, and away we go. Susie leads the way as Sharp gets left for dead. teammates first and second. Smil up in the second place, Sawyer in third, Denny up to fourth. Provided he can stay ahead of Sharp. Sharp gets loose once again, and he's gonna be trouble further back. That was Austin Mongold that ended up coming down pit lane. Clavitt avoided going down pit lane, but both of them got very loose. Sharp got loose from the outside lane. The other two got loose from the inside lane. So Sharp got the luckiest bit of that. She stays in the top 10 as a result. Clavitt now behind Henderson. Mongold driving through pit lane. Henderson was still a little off pace there, the 25. As we expected that might be the case. Still struggling, and it looks like some suspension damage underlying, being a huge factor in that. Ross Baxter and Chad Spotsworth trying to work their way forward. Spotsworth just set his best lap of the race, a 39.57. Susie, the best car, or fastest lap, 39.53. Not the fastest car on the racetrack, though. Down below the white line for a moment there on the back straightaway. That was that of Jeremy Braille. Had trouble. Dustin Hall has been in trouble. And here's a look at what happened. Ticker staying live during this live replay, and it's going to be teammate on teammate violence, and this is going to be ugly. That's what happened to Dustin Hall up the nose of Zach Apperson. And that's going to effectively end Dustin Hall's day. Spotsworth, meanwhile, has moved his way all the way back up to 12th place. Trying to get back into the top 10. Dustin Hall towed back pit lane. No caution because he was well off the racing surface near the inside wall. On the back straightaway, Josh Arnold in trouble. And caution out 5th time. Arnold this time tangled, I think, with somebody else. Up to see who it was on the replay, but Arnold not so lucky this time. Damage on the front of that Toyota. Second caution back to back. What happened to Josh Arnold? Does he come off the nose of Caitlin Height? Oh, maybe. Might be off the nose of Odie. Wide camera from above the broadcast booth here in Fontana. In slow motion. Just behind his teammate Spotsworth there, the 18, and as well as being behind Bryn Roberts and Ross Baxter. Does not get help from Richard Odie, just gets loose. And Caitlin Height getting involved means that Height will not get the free pass this time around. Height was trying to avoid that. Only so much you can really do in that circumstance, unfortunately. As likewise, once again, bails out Blake Henderson, who will get to do more work on the 25 car as we close in near the end of stage number 2. Anderson comes down pit lane. A lot of the field comes down pit lane this time by. Except for those in the front of the field. Hunter Peach on lap 50. He's up to third. Everyone around him on lap 41. Flores first one out with 4 tires and fuel. He will be in 9th. He's put himself in a pretty good spot here to try to challenge for some stage points. Not a playoff driver, but we'll try to make some inroads here. It looks like he is dropping back a little bit. He's changing some positions, or did he speed on pit lane? We will find out where he slots in here. He's going to slot in behind, looks like Sawyer, so it looks like he might be okay just getting put back in position here, staying in front of Haley Thompson. So just changing positions there with Sawyer. So Sawyer top 10, Flores in 11th place. Henderson still working on his car, as is that of Austin Mongold. Mongold gets rolling. Henderson will also get rolling. Suspension work being the main concern for the 25 camp at this point. They're just trying to get this car competitive for the final stage, put Henderson in a spot to try to go and win this race and lock himself in the hard way. Down to 22 cars. We've lost 8 cars in 60 laps, which is insane to think about. This was going to be a dramatic race. We knew that. I don't think we expected it to be quite like this, though. Very much sparks of Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Lights out on the pace car. Things are going green at the end of this lap for what will be our 6th restart of the race. Green flag flies and away we go once again. 9 laps to go until the end of stage number 2. Remember, Peach a little better off than those around him. Then on lap 50, those like Sawyer and Flores, even better off. They just pit here on lap 59. So 3 different strategies in play. Does not change a whole lot as far as the strategy in stage 3 and the pit stops required to get to the end of the race. But when do those pit stops happen becomes a huge topic of conversation. Peach, side by side with Smeal. Susie has waltzed away. On 17 of Meredith back in the top 10 in 9th place. Meredith will hold. A bunch of issues early on in this race. Nighttime might be the right time, though, for the 17 as he tries to charge forward. Down the back straightaway. Got around Baxter. Up to 9th. Looking middle 3 wide. Getting around Odie, who's in the top 10. And trying to rally around those in front of him. Has to deal with Sharp, though, who gets loose once again. Remember, Sharp on lap 41 took fuel only. Oldest tires in the field and beginning to pay for it. This is Sharp thinking numbers, thinking points, stage points. How many of them can she get? If this stays green much longer, it might be 0. That is Ratliff, the 8th, the 54, just behind. So teammates there with Sharp and Ratliff, 7th and 8th. Baxter and Swathworth trying to find ways around. Meredith's got his way around, up to 6th. Wadsworth up to ninth. Everyone jockeying for position, but it's all in vain, chasing the 81 of Susie, who has won this race twice. Not many drivers can say they've got multiple wins at the same racetrack, as Odie goes off out of turn 2, well off the racetrack, but saves it. And will drop down the order to 19th place. We'll stay ahead of both Austin Mongol in 20th and Blake Henderson in 21st. Wadsworth around Ratliff. Harder and quiet, Lily Sharp. Lavitt struggling once again. He drops down to 20th place. Got loose out of turn 4. He saved it there. And Wadsworth clear Sharp. Ratliff and Taub round up the top 10. Peach in second place, trying to lead the charge back to Susie. 9 laps difference between Susie and Peach on their strategy calls. Peach has the favorite on the stun between the two. Meredith, though, of those that pin lap 59, is the best looking right now. Meredith, Sawyer, and Wadsworth all on lap 59 made pit stops with 4 tires. And they're all charging forward. Meredith up near the wall. Wadsworth down near the bottom. Sawyer ran the middle. And the whole station there, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Each closing in a little bit. Braille also in that conversation, looking for some significant stage points to help himself out. He was in the top 8 going into tonight. Stage points only helps the 74, as does a good race finish. He is on his way to that right now, recovering from early spins in stage 1. He's had it genuinely nice compared to others. Now sitting in 3rd. Two laps to go in stage 2. Susie, Peach, Braille. Through turns 1 and 2 they go. Get the white flag in stage 2. No stage breaks, remember. They keep racing even after lap 70. Bump draft there between Peach and Braille. Trying to give each other a go at the stage 2 win. All 3 of these drivers on your screen in the top 8. Just trying to secure their positions in the top 8, in the championship 8 for the next 3 races. Susie goes up and blocks Peach. And it will be Susie that does get the stage win coming out of turn 4, unless Peach can get a massive run. He does get a massive run, but it won't be enough. Susie wins stage 2. Peach gets 2nd. Braille gets 3rd, but now it's big picture time. Now it's race win thinking time. And that's where Peach takes forward. So Susie grabbed the stage points. Those 9-lap older tires did enough to help get those stage points. But now it's time to think about the race win, and that's where Hunter Peach and Jimmy Braille are in the play. Now remember, Susie on the same strategy as Braille. Peach on a better strategy than them right now in terms of tire wear. And Braille got loose, again got loose. Will drop out of the top 3, out of the top 5. Braille drops all the way down to 8th place, got out of the gas big time to keep that car from spinning, and now deals with Sharp, with Taub, and Rattler. Meanwhile, Peach has broken away. Remember, Peach's first race win came right here in Fontana in the HTL Cup Series. Season 3 is how the season ended. Meredith won the title, Peach won the race. This is one of Peach's favorite tracks. He's had a lot of fond memories in his career. Trying to add another chapter to it. But once again, it is Peach and Meredith on favorable strategies compared to that of Susie, compared to that of Smeal. It could be deja vu for both of them by the end of the night. But Susie will not lay down without fighting for this race lead here. Battling out of turn 4. Peach scrapes the wall just a little bit. Sharp and Taub in pit lane. Scheduled stops, it looks like. And indeed it is. Those are drivers at pen lap 41. They have gotten to their pit window. Susie gets loose, got to the race lead, but couldn't hold it. They will lose 2 spots in one go. Peach goes by, Smeals goes by, and Meredith gets the door shut on him. Peach driving up the racetrack, outside lane. Smeal trying to drive the inside lane now, the lane that's gotten everyone loose all race long. Doesn't matter if it's been sunshine or nighttime. Inside lane seems treacherous right now. Smeal trying to hug the quarter panel of Peach. Side draft there into turn 1. Still side by side through turns 1 and 2. Turns 1 and 2 a little bit safer, or at least we thought. Susie showing that that might not be the case. Cars leaving pit lane. Taub and Sharp. I have to correct a mistake here. We thought they were coming down pit lane on a scheduled stop. Sharp's got a scheduled stop incoming. That wasn't it. They both got loose and took the pit lane as a baiting action. So they are now well and truly in trouble. And for Sharp, that's not where you want to be. Being on that ragged edge of being out of the championship 8. You do not want to lose a handful of points like this. And now being last car on the lead lap. That is a dire position to be in. Because Sharp can see the leaders just behind her. Peach, her teammate, unfortunately will not be able to cut too many brakes because there is a lot of pressure behind. Smeal, Susie, and Meredith all in tow, as is Tucker Sawyer. Ralph a little bit further back, having another phenomenal race, but he is in a hornet's nest of his own, battling with Shad Swathworth and Jeremy Braille. There's Josh Arnold there in the mix as well. That number 2 is recovered from his couple of spins in stage 2. And then Ross Baxter in the top 10 as well. And Robertson 11th, Thompson 12th. They have cooled off as this race has progressed. Thompson looks a lot better in the daytime conditions. Not so hot at night. Smeal trying to drive the inside lane there, trying to find some way around. Sharp's about to go a lap down here. And that's going to hurt not only Sharp, but it's going to hurt Caitlin Height as well. Height in the 22nd position, 4 laps down, hoping that no one joins her on that lap down club. Peach gets loose, side by side with Smeal. And Sharp, I'm not sure if that was the intent, but kind of just pinned her teammate in. I think was trying to ask for help and gets put in the fence by Susie. Susie bounces off of Sharp, almost bounced off of Peach. And crisis averted, but Sharp now pinned fully a lap down. Meredith up to 3rd, Peach in 2nd. Smeal has grabbed the race lead and ran with it. And now Sharp in trouble because Sharp's got a pit stop to make as well. will not be pleasant. Make that pit stop being a lap down, knowing now that you are in a lot of jeopardy. Caitlin Height, nothing to lose. Four laps down, it's basically done. Dusted, caution's out, and that was Susie. Susie with the spin in turn two. The corner that had been giving him problems the last several laps finally bites him, and he'll spin. So let's take a look at that spin from Josh Susie. Have the spotter's cam up above the broadcast booth here. Tries to drive it to the inside of, that is Tyler Ratliff, the 54. Drove his way around. It looks like Susie just drives. Left side tires clipped that seam, held onto it a little too long. As I mentioned before, those rubber seams, you ride them the wrong way, especially in these cars so low to the ground with those flat floors. It'll suck the back of the car around and send you for a spin, and that's exactly what happened to Josh Susie. He avoided it a couple times already. Couldn't avoid that one. So 7th caution of the night, and the field will come down pit lane. Sharp gets back on the lead lap, but we'll restart this race in 21st place. Caitlin Height will use the wave around to still get a lap back here, and we'll end up being 3 laps down. But we'll need to make a pit stop here at some point in that 3 car. 22nd place, just trying to hang on there and see what you can do. That is the Hail Mary throw if I've seen one. Missed pit box for Elias Flores. He will have to come back down pit lane again. Sawyer, though, did not miss his box. 2-tire stop. He will take over the lead here in California. The GeauxTime car is 400. So pit stops being concluded here as the field comes back out of pit lane. The GeauxTime car is 400 here in Fontana. We'll step aside for a quick word from the setup provider for the HTL Cup Series and be right back after this. Pit stops being made once again by Sawyer, by Flores, and by Clavitt. Gives us Zach Meredith, Hunter Peach, Tyler Ratliff, Davis Meal, and Josh Arnold, your top 5. Going into this, sorry, Jeremy Brown, top 5. Josh Arnold in 6th. So we're ready to go back racing here in Fontana. 82 laps completed. We're on lap 83 of 125. It has been a cluster of a race. Less than 50 laps to go, less than 45 laps to go here in Fontana. Cars leave pit lane. We're ready to go racing here with the GeauxTime car. It's 400. And a huge shout out to them supporting this race, the elimination race in the round of 16. Car collecting has never been hotter. GeauxTime cards can help you begin or complete sets in your collecting hobby. Use the QR code on the left side of your screen and visit them out and check them out today. Showtime once again here in California. Meredith leads the way and immediately goes to break the draft. Meredith looking to break a winless drought dating all the way back to his championship season in season 3. And here comes Hunter Peach. We know how good he is here in Fontana. His debut win came here back in season 3 when Meredith won the title. Smeal trying to spoil the party, and Tyler Ratliff looking to punch high above his weight class. Sitting right now top 4, 3 wide for the race lead. Everything up for grabs. Meredith holds on to the outside lane and holds on to the lead there as a result. Breaks the draft, down the racetrack, back up the racetrack. Making it complicated for Smeal. Running on board here with Ratliff, Sonic. Number 54. Gets pinched up a little bit by Arnold. But battling away. One pole position, he's got one top 5 and one top 10. That was at Darlington. Hard racetrack to do that at. He's looking for his second. Underdog story as he's tried to grow, and not only in the series, but in his team at NFG Motorsports. He's stuck with it, put his head down. Right now in the top 5, in 4th, looking at Pete, looking at Smeal, and looking at Meredith. Arnold in 5th, Brayall in 6th. And that's look behind him. Trouble behind, that is Roberts. 8th caution of the night, Roberts hard in the wall. That is the 8 that is spun around, trying to get refired and going again. But the nose of that Camaro is pancaked. What happened to Bryn Roberts? Gets looser. His teammate Baxter behind him. That is Susie to the outside. That is Mongol to the inside of the 29 car. And then Alfred Denny, the 21. Just on the right side of your screen. We'll back this up a little bit. It seemed like this was building a little bit. Oh, 100% it was. In slow motion here. We'll zoom it out just a little bit. Does he get loose before Susie touches him, or does Susie touch him to get him loose? He gets loose before Susie gets to him. Gets loose. Fishtails it once. Susie clips him there. Begins the slide, the drift through turn 4. Baxter clips him there. Thinks he bounced off of Susie, for Alfred Denny. He does. Oof. Hard hit there, both of the Carolina Beagle cars. And that is all 4 Carolina Beagle cars in trouble in this race. Bails out Sharp, who did not catch up to the field in time for that restart. And Kalen Hite gets another lap back here. Dramatic race. 8 cautions so far tonight. And it's a pit lane stop for Bryn Roberts to get some repair work done. As it is for Blake Henderson further down the line. And for Ross Baxter, a lot of cars on pit lane. Kalen Hite on pit lane after getting the free pass. Only 2 laps down now. Not how she expected Fontana to go after winning at Talladega last week. Throwing Hail Marys as much as she reasonably can. 8 retirements in this race already. We saw that. Those 8 retirements from the first 60 laps. It's stabilized a little bit since then. Height 2 laps down, the only car off the lead lap right now. Billy Thompson back down pit lane as well. Roberts gets rolling once again. Henderson's still working on that car. He's been working on that race car all night long. And that car seems to be nowhere near ready to go to try to battle this one out. He is just working on, it seems like a never-ending mission to try to get that car serviceable, let alone competitive. It is incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. If you're in Henderson's position, because you entered this race knowing there's an opportunity to make something happen and pull off an absolute miracle. Instead, you're watching as really the battles all happen ahead of you and away from you. And it's not pleasant. Less than 40 to go, coming to 36 laps to go here in Fontana. It is Smeal, it is Pete, Braille, Ratliff, Flores, Mongold, your top 6. The green flag flies, and away we go. A little bit of a bogged down start there for Pete. Smeal gets it off pretty well. And there goes Braille on the outside lane as well. Peach hung out the dry. It looks like he was up a gear. 3 wide. Braille looks immediately to the middle of the racetrack. Will not pay off for him there. Smeal holds on to the race lead. Peach trying to battle back for second. Ratliff in 4th. Mongold 5th. Peach, bottom of the racetrack. We've seen how much that has bitten drivers all night long. It did not help Peach there, but he didn't get loose like others have. He'll just lose another spot here. Ratliff looking for a potential podium in that 54 car. He has come to life. Showed that stat line going into tonight's race, his 19th career start. 1 top 5, 1 top 10. That was a 4th place at Darlington to start off the round of 16. Not a playoff driver. That 54 car trying to play spoiler and currently doing a great job in doing so, and currently on the podium and looking strong in the process. Meredith gets loose behind. That's the battle for 7th place. Smeal leads the way. Braille in 2nd. Smeal above the cut line by 8 points. Braille a little bit safer. Both of them looking for race wins for the first time in HTL. Same with the 54 Ratliff. Trying to put together a Hail Mary. Braille looks really got a little bit loose there, but had the space to go for it. Smeal goes to cover up the inside lane. Braille stays up on the outside lane, doesn't try to follow the draft. And stays a little bit higher there. We'll circle back around, get a little bit lower through turn 2. And he's going to look really good here going into turn 3. Smeal outside lane. Braille goes middle, drifts lower. 2nd lane for Braille, 4th lane for Smeal. And they're going to stay side by side. Side draft there, down the front straightaway. Smeal's got the lap. Braille's got the overlap. But not enough to stay there. Outside lane carries so much momentum out of turn 4. Coming to 31 laps to go. Braille backs up a little bit. Can't back it up too much because Ratliff is right there. He is game competition tonight. Smil goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Braille follows that time, just trying to defend from Ratliff. Stays inside lane, second lane for Braille. And drives through turn 1 and 2 pretty well. Mongold up in fourth. Keep an eye on the 29 car. He's gotten around Pete. He is just there. He is bottom of your race, bottom of your stream for a moment. Battling with Peach there. Side by side. Meredith in 6th. Ahead of Flores. Wadsworth, Sharp, and Sawyer. Your top 10. .30 laps to go. Really trying to challenge for this race lead here. One of his favorite tracks. You can tell he feels comfortable here too. Goes to the bottom of the racetrack, goes to the apron, side by side. Smil led the lap, but Braille is right there. He is in the conversation, but Smil's got help from Ratliff. Braille goes low. He goes to the bottom lane. A lane that's not worked very often so far tonight. He's got the advantage out of turn 2. But the outside advantage is going to have momentum in Smil's favor. He's going to try it again in 3 and 4. He's trying to run where Smil's not. Mongold knocking out his teammate out. Braille trying to side draft and duck out of the way, but here goes Ratliff to second place. Ratliff up to second place. Mongold in 4th. Teammates for Sideswipe Racing 3rd and 4th. Yeah, Ratliff in his career best spot right now in 2nd if he can hold on to it. And David Smil Jr. once again in a defying position, looking for his first career HTL Cup win. It will be polarizing to feel if the rumors end up being true, with Gibney Racing Division potentially being on the way out at the end of the season. Huge effort, multiple seasons for Gibney Racing Division and Lady Liberty Motorsports. Obviously that team trying to win a championship. We got multiple cars in the round of 16. Trying to have multiple cars in the championship 8. But how conflicting of a feeling it's going to end up feeling. Grabbing a race win this late in the season, knowing it might be your only chance. That's where the team is sitting right now. That's where Smil's sitting right now. Ratliff is backed off a little bit here. Now he's got to really study Smil to see what he can do to make things happen. 26 laps to go. How much does Ratliff push it to try to get his first career win? We know that Smil's here to the end of the season. We know Ratliff's going to be here next season. This is the now versus the future. And Ratliff gets a little loose, rode the rubber seam on the outside lane and got loose and almost paid for it. You gotta stay within the seams and not ride the seams on this car. This car very similar to the Champ Car machines we race on Wednesday nights with that flat floor. With that rubber seam, you see that dark rubber seam that separates the lanes. There is a significant grip difference when you put those tires on the seam. Braille having to straddle the seam. Has to be very careful in crossing over those seams over and over. And you see the time loss he had trying to be very careful in that process. Here comes the 18 of Swatsworth looking at a potential podium. Swadsworth outside the points, looking in. Swadsworth, a race win would move him into the championship 8, and it would move him in front of Smeal. Smeal into this race 8th place in points. The confines cannot get much tighter. Meredith looking to play spoiler. Mongol in the middle. Pete up on the outside lane, trying to ride the lip around here. Mongol fences it and allows several cars to go through. The nighttime is the right time, because action has picked up here in California. Brayall has been passed by Swadsworth. Swadsworth up to 3rd. Swadsworth chasing a race win. Both his driver stats here. 107th start tonight. 7 poles, 4 race wins in his career. Looking for race win number 5. This is a track that has taunted him in his career. When the championship has been on the line, he's finished 2nd so many times. Can he shake that demon? Got passed by Brayall. Back down to 4th. 5th place once again for Meredith. That was Bryn Roberts, the 8 car, going a lap down officially for the first time tonight. Bosworth in 4th, watching Brayall and looking at his mirror, seeing it full of Peach and Meredith. Susie back up in the top 10, but it has been far from comfortable for the 81 team tonight. Tight confines racing here in California. 21 laps to go. And for some, we are playing blackjack. It is a matter of not going over. Try to get to 21 without going bust. Cars in the fence. What happened to Susie? Off the nose of Sharp, I think. Both of them fall out of the top 10. What happened there? Mongol struggling still. See if we can get a live look at the replay there. This is live pictures. Susie, yeah, this is just Susie getting loose. Bounces off of Denny. Sharp had nothing to do with that. That was just a matter of Susie getting loose out of 2 again for the 4th time tonight. And Susie now down in the 14th position. Denny, after getting tagged and put in the wall, in 12th. And I think Denny's got a little bit of damage on that 21 car, because that car is no longer driving the same as it was. And that's going to be unfortunate. Front of the field, back again. Jeremy Brayall up to 2nd place, clears Ratliff, drives through turn 2, and closes the gap on Smeal. Smeal has a hornet's nest behind him. Ratliff in 3rd, Peach in 4th, battling with Zach Meredith. Close confines there for 3rd. Less than 20 laps to go here in California. And then the round of 16. It has been chaotic, but this is the type of racing that we see from California so often. No holds barred, all out racing here. Meredith got loose. Meredith got loose and saved it. And jumps back in line, but drops down to 7th place. He'll have to try to get around Flores and Swadsworth all over again. And Flores is in the fence. And that will help Meredith out a little bit. That's one obstacle re-overtaken. And it'll allow Sawyer to go through as well. So Sawyer up to 7th place. Meanwhile, Brayall has gotten to the race lead. Something's happened to Smeal. I think Smeal got loose out of 4. Brayall now leads. Brayall now leads this race. They had a Ratliff and Smeal. Smeal in traffic now. He has spent so much at the end of this race in the front of the field. That is not the case now. Braille leads. Peach goes up to third potentially. And Smeal now very much on the back foot and might have just snatched defeat from the jaws of victory once again as he battles with Peach. We'll grab a look at the pass for the race lead that took place a couple laps ago on lap 108. And we do believe it was coming out of turn 4. Actually, it's going into turn 3. It gets clear. So Smeal got a little bit loose or a little bit tight. Either way, he got out of the throttle and just couldn't stick it. So that was the pass for the race lead and ultimately for second place as well for Ratliff. Back to live action. Smeal now off the podium. Peach in third, Slotsworth fifth, Meredith back up to sixth. And Jeremy Braille looking for his first career HTL Cup victory here in Fontana. Teammates behind him, the NFG teammates of Ratliff and Peach. It is a 2-on-1 attack. Coming to 14 laps to go. Your best Ford right now is that of Zach Meredith in sixth. Only 2 Fords, period, in the top 10. Only 2 Chevrolets in the top 10. 6 Toyotas in the top 10. But they're not leading. It is the Chevrolet of Braille that leads. Peach drives it to the bottom. Hard drive to the bottom of 3 and 4. Trying to get to the race lead, a race that he's won before. Trying to become a 2-time winner. Holds up his teammate. Braille mirror driving. Trying to cut the air off 20. Forcing the drive out of his lane. Cautions out. Cautions out is Clavitt. Clavitt, middle of the racetrack. And that'll rack it all up. Roberts will get the free pass. What happened to Clavitt? We'll take a look here. Does he get loose or is it Sharp that grabs him? Take a better look here. This is going into turns 3 and 4. This is Clavitt and Sharp battling. Oh, yeah, hits the bump and spins. That is nothing to do with Sharp once again. Very close call for Sharp once again. The car trying to pass and gets loose and spins out in front of her. Clavitt's trying to get going and unfortunately comes to a stop on the racetrack, and that's a no-brainer caution call. 9th caution of the night. We will go back racing with less than 10 laps to go as Clavitt comes back around the racetrack here. That is not what Braille wanted to see. He did not want to see a caution come out this late in the race. He seemed like he had a pretty good control of this. And now the entire field is racked up and put together again. Everyone comes down pit lane. 2 tires, 4 tires. What is the decision that you make? Smeal goes 2 tires. 4 tires for Braille. Some gamblers, some takers. Smeal with 2, Sharp with 2, Peach with 4, Braille with 4. Odie with 2. With 10 laps to go at the line here, Caitlin Height will grab a wave around and will now be only 1 lap down. Henderson on pit lane will officially go a lap down, and I think that is day done for the 25, unfortunately. I don't know if that's as much damage as they can get done, taken care of for the 25, or if they're going to try to get all this repair work done and hope that another caution late on here that forces overtime can put that 25 car back in the conversation. We'll find out. But now officially off the lead lap. Caitlin Height also a lap down at the moment. 20 cars on the lead lap, 22 cars still running. Coming to 9 laps to go on this restart. Smeal and Sharp, 2 tires. Same with Odie. 4 tire stop for Peach, for Ratliff, for Braille, for Swatsworth, for Meredith, and for Sawyer. Apperson, 2 tire stop as well in 10th. We'll see if anyone gets bailed out here. Henderson's not moving. I think his day is done. And so is his chance at the championship. Pace car pulls down pit lane. It is Smeal and Sharp at the front of the field. It is Odie and Peach in row 2. Green flag flies, away we go. Wheel spin further back. Sharp was not ready to go, and it checked up the entire inside lane. They fan out through turn 2. But a horrible restart by Peach. Not by Peach, but by Sharp. Cautions out. Trouble further behind, and Peach involved in this one. Some pretty big damage on the right side of that car. Odie involved as well, and that puts Caitlin Height back on the lead lap. Let's take a look here. Now, what happened? It'll be in slow-mo. Odie gets loose, tags the wall, bounces off and grabs Peach, and nowhere for Tucker Sawyer to go. Once again, bad luck for him. Bad luck for Kyle Taub. Looks like the 2 of Josh Arnold does a really good job of avoiding that one. Caitlin Height avoids that trauma as well. So Peach, it looks like his chances of trying to win here in Fontana for a second time are over. And now they've got to deal with another potential bad restart from Sharp, who will once again be second and on the front row. Caitlin Height will get back on the lead lap here. Teammates almost ran into each other there. Smeal not paying attention to where Caitlin Height was. 10th caution of the night. We'll be going green, I believe, with 5 laps to go. Ten cautions tonight. It has been wild. It doesn't feel like it's been 10 cautions. Been a wild race. Henderson reporting an engine failure, so his race is done. So 21 cars running. Odie now a lap down. His race could be over. Caitlin Height getting the free pass. Will end up in a pretty decent spot to try to take on some of these drivers here. A fast car, that 3 car, just hasn't been on the lead lap for basically the entire race. With 5 laps to go, that 3 car in range. But no stage points and likely championship ambition over after missing 2 races in a row to start off the round of 16. Davis Meal leads the way, Sharp in second, Swatsworth third, and Meredith in fourth. Sorry, no, it's a little bit different. Swatsworth is in fourth. It's supposed to be the 54 of Tyler Ratliff in second, or sorry, in third. And then row 3 is supposed to be Meredith and Braille, but because they're all so staggered right now, it looks odd. And I think it's because NFG Motorsports is trying to line up something on that inside lane, like what they did last time, and it backfired horribly. Let's see if they get on the same page this time. Green flag flies. And once again, Sharp slow to the punch. And gets abandoned for it. This late in the race, you got to be on it, and if you're not on it, step up or step out. And Sharp's a driver that does not make friends very easy in this series. Not a lot of opportunities to try to make second chances happen. Smeel leads the way, has a multiple car length advantage. Sharp in the fence. Swatsworth up to second. Swatsworth clear for second. Meredith looking for third. Four laps to go. Swatsworth, 4 tires. Smeel on 2. 2 tires for Sharp. 4 tires for Meredith. And Smeel feels the pressure. Smeel definitely feels the pressure because he knows the better cars are coming. Swatsworth looking for his 5th career win. Smeel looking for his 1st. 3 to go, 6 miles. Battle for third still rages on between Meredith and Sharp. Swatsworth, what does he do to try to grab this race win? Meredith clears for third. The Serpentine, the Dragon, down the back straightaway. Coming to 2 laps to go here in Fontana. Swatsworth is close. Less than 2/10. He's got a couple chances at pay dirt. Drives to the second lane. Smeal in the fourth lane. Meredith in the fifth lane. Car spins. Car spins. That was Apperson that spun, and the caution's out. We've got overtime. It was Apperson that spun around, and it'll force overtime before we get to the white flag. And now Smeal's in trouble, because now he's not dealing with Sharp to his inside. It'll be Spotsworth and Meredith. Here's a look at what happened to Apperson here. We'll back it up a little bit. And this is going to be a little bit of an accordion that brings this all together. Pushing the pusher here, 3 tandem. Off the nose of Taub. Slide, 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 slide. Can't save it. And it comes to a stop there. Traffic incoming. It's the right call to make. Right call to make there for the caution to come out. Just unfortunate that it comes out approaching the white flag. Thankfully, not a lot of damage, if any, other than burnt tires. So some cars further down the order, Pete, Susie, Denny, Roberts, Apperson, all coming down pit lane for a fresh set of tires. Smeal on 2 tires, the only car out there on 2 tires outside of Sharp. But it feels like Sharp is on ice skates and being diced up left, right, and center. Goodness gracious. What a night it's been. Got a huge shout out to GeauxTime Cards. I think they've got the money's worth with the drama tonight. You can get your money's worth as well if you're collecting cards, getting into the hobby, or looking to complete sets. Whether it's NFL, baseball, NASCAR, wrestling, you name it, they've got it. QR code will help you complete your sets or start your card collecting journey here tonight. Appreciate them supporting the race here in Fontana and being on board this season. Another huge shout out to Team Conti. Been a wild ride tonight. They put a setup that's allowed the cars to race as much as they reasonably can with the new aero configurations. These cars have danced around significantly tonight. We've seen that. It's benefited some drivers. Some drivers have struggled with it. But we've had a show that has been, to say the least. Michael Conti, one of the greats of NASCAR competition, leads the way for Team Conti and Performance. If you need help with setups, development, coaching, and more, the QR code on the left side of your screen or teamconti.gg in your favorite web browser will get you all the information you need to begin improving your racecraft in the stock car racing scene, from X-Gen, trucks, Grand National, Gen 4, and ARCA, and more. Appreciate them supporting HTL and putting on a show here tonight. Overtime attempt number 1, set to be underway. And it is going to be a wild ride for the Aces. Smeal and Spotsworth will lead the field to green for this restart, what could be the last one of the race. in. It's Meredith and Sharp, row 2. Pace car pulls down pit lane. And the pressure builds on the front straightaway. Overtime is underway. We're racing once again, 11th restart of the night. And I think Smeal might be a sitting duck. Sharp tried to side draft and door slam the 17 of Meredith. That didn't work well. Look at Clavitt. Clavitt's been quiet. Here they go. Caution's out. Second overtime coming up. That was Mongold involved. Huge accident down the back straightaway. Mongold, Taub, Susie, Baxter, and more. Sawyer, Thompson also involved. And this is where everyone loses their heads. Take a look at that restart. And we'll look at it from the wide spotter cam. There's not a lot of cars left to go, and we just junked a few more. Everyone checked up behind the 19 of Sharp. Sharp got loose. Sharp got turned by her teammate. Caitlin Hike got a piece of that as well. Flores got some of it. See if we can ride on board here with one of these cars. On board Caitlin Hite. Not a race to remember for Hite at all in her 80th career start. Yep. Not how you expect that to go when the door closes and the window slam shut on your fingers. Caitlin Hite just pushes through it. A little bit of damage on the nose of that car, but repairable. And with less than 2 laps to go, he's kind of work with it. So Smeal's going to try that again. He was a sitting duck on that last restart. Swatsworth had him pretty well lined up and ready to be drawn and quartered. And now we get to line up to try it again. Second attempt at overtime. We get 3 attempts to try to finish this race under green. Similar to how Talladega went last week. It can end under caution on that 3rd attempt if we cannot see the white flag. Drivers obviously don't want to see this race end under yellow. They want to be able to race it back. But you have to be under racing conditions to be able to race it back. And that is obviously easier said than done for some. So the question does quickly pivot to, does this race end under green? Or are we looking at a little bit of trouble? That is a question we will have answered here pretty quickly. It is Smeal, Swatsworth, Braille, Meredith once again in the top 4. This time Meredith outside lane in 4th, Braille in 3rd. Swatsworth 2nd. David Smeal Jr. takes the lane choice and once again picks the outside lane. Swatsworth had his number on that last restart. Didn't have the chance to pass him going down the back straightaway like he had planned on it. He had gotten to him. Can he do it now? Or do we need a 3rd attempt at overtime? Important questions that have to be answered here tonight. And we are running out of time to get those questions answered. Can we get ourselves in overtime to completion. Can we see the white flag? That is what we'll have to find out. Clavitt top 5, Arnold top 6, Sharp in the top 8 alongside with Ratliff. Those two collecting each other in that last caution. 12th restart coming up here in California. Pace car is in, green flag flies. Back underway, second restart in overtime. And that was level on the restart between Swadsworth and Smeal. But here comes both Clavitt and the 74 Braille. Swadsworth clears in the turn, out of turn 2. Smeal trying to look for the race lead back. Can we get to the white flag? A little bit of hip check, a little bit of side drafting. Swadsworth drove well up the racetrack. This is for all the marbles. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go, presented by Henderson Graphics. Meredith the second. Can he move the 31 up the racetrack and break a winless drought? Side by side on 2. One more really good opportunity for Meredith to try to go and grab this race win. Braille tries to send it to 3 and 4. It won't stick. Going out of turn 4, it'll be a first career win. David Smeal Jr. holds him off. He wins in California. Meredith and Braille round out the podium. Smeal punches his ticket, as does Braille, to the championship 8. Clavitt 4th, Swadsworth top 5, Arnold in 6th. Ratliff another top 10 ahead of Apperson, Peach, and Alfred Denny, who completes the cycle. David Smeal Jr., your race winner here in Fontana. We'll get congratulatory bumps there from Josh Susie, 2-time winner of this race. Smeal gets to burn it down on the front straightaway before heading to victory lane. Great job there by David Smeal Jr. There's your winning moment for David Smeal Jr. as he does burnouts in victory lane. Great job across the board there for Smeal. Had a great car. Seemed like he had lost a couple opportunities, but makes it back up here. He can celebrate as a result. A fantastic job for him. While he celebrates, we'll step aside for a moment and get ready for podium interviews here in California. Don't go anywhere. Post-race coverage coming up here on ABN right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the GeauxTime Cars 400 post-race beginning here in California. We get to talk to our podium finishers here after a wild race. We'll start off with 3rd place, Jeremy Braille in the championship 8, contending for that race win, but at 3rd place we'll have to settle for. Walk us through that race. That 74 car looked hooked up tonight.
It was fun. I know some people had some issues with the setup, but I thought that was really fun once we got towards once we got out of sunlight, it was really fun. First half of the race, though, in the daylight, I could not drive this car for my life. It was terrible. I could not drive it on the bottom, couldn't drive it in the middle, couldn't drive it on the top. And then once the sun started to go down, it started to tighten up a little bit, and I could actually, make moves instead of sitting in line and not being able to do anything. And once that happened, I could start to move up to the front, and I could actually make moves, especially on old tires. I don't understand what they did to the tire model, but old tires actually feel really good. So we need more races where we get long runs, I guess, with this car. So that was fun. And then about 40 to go, when that caution came out, it kind of saved me because I stayed out for the stage, get stage points to at least have a shot at making the round of 8. And then after that, it was just caution after caution after caution, trying to keep track position. And then those last few race starts, I was stuck on the inside, and you can't really do anything unless you clear the cars on the outside on the restart. And I was just trying to get whoever was in front of me pushed far enough ahead to where we could clear. And I think we did that, but I think my best shot to win would have been that second to last restart where I cleared onto the outside and was going to go around everybody on the outside. But overall, third place ain't bad. Third place stage points ain't bad. And going to the round of 8, I think. I don't know how the points shake out, but I'm pretty sure I made it.
Yeah, you're in the round of 8. You're above the cut line going into tonight. You have your stage points, and third place tonight in this race. Make sure that you're in that championship fight. Atlanta next week. You were unsure about this car and how the changes were going to affect it. Since then, it's been largely positive for the 74 camp. Have the changes turned out to be better for the 74 camp going into this stretch of races, or has it just been good tracks that have worked out for you?
I'm terrible usually here, and I'm usually terrible at Las Vegas. And at Vegas, I felt like if I didn't get damaged, I could have had a better finish there. And with here, I was the complete opposite, like I said at the beginning, and whatever happened when the lights came on, this car turned up, and I felt it, and it felt really good. I haven't felt the Gen 7 car actually feel like a race car until tonight. So that was fun, and I felt like I could actually drive it, and my inputs actually mattered instead of, I got to sit in line, wait for the draft to pull me up and do all this other stuff. I felt like my positioning of the car could actually affect where I was on the track and how I could gain track position. So that was, I love when I can drive a car. I don't like super speedway racing really, even though I've got a lot of wins doing that, but it's not fun just to sit in line and wait and do all this other crap. I feel like we actually have a race car now.
And it worked out for you here tonight, getting that race car to third place tonight and in the championship 8 for the last 3 races. You get to battle for a championship here with that third place finish tonight. Before we let you go and let you get ready for not only A Squared racing coming up, but for the rest of the HTL season, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats on a very competitive race, a very wild race, but successful on that podium finish.
Yeah, thank you. Got to thank my only remaining sponsor, Smil Racing Designs. John and April have stuck with me through my downturn in terms of racing these cars. So I appreciate them for sticking on with me. And he makes awesome paint schemes. I've been running this paint scheme the past 4 weeks, but it's my favorite paint scheme that he's made for me on this car, and it shines really well. So thanks to them, and thanks to everybody who raced me clean tonight and raced me fair. I appreciate it. It will be returned when we go back racing next week. And thanks to ABM for putting on the broadcast.
A fantastic job for Jeremy Braille. P3 tonight here in Fontana and battling for a championship the next 3 weeks, beginning in Atlanta next Monday. Jeremy, enjoy the podium, and we'll be seeing you again next week.
All right, see you there.
That was Jeremy Braille, our third place finisher here tonight. We'll move right on along to second place, Zach Meredith. Again, and we follow this up from what we said last week in Talladega. The consistency is impeccable. Those dad powers working out an absolute treat. Another podium, once again, a second place as well in that 17 car. what a threat you would be in the playoffs had you been able to make the starts earlier in the season. But walk us through that race, because that 17 car, as we saw so many times tonight, came alive once the lights turned on.
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? I love this track. I love this track. I mean, it all started just from qualifying. I didn't really get a grip on the setup in practice, but whatever I did in qualifying, I almost had the pole, and I was like, okay, if I could just manage this for the race, I was good. I just try to limit mistakes. I mean, I think I led like 30 laps or something like that. So I knew I had speed. I knew I was fast. I just couldn't make my own mistakes. And it's funny that you mentioned the dad powers, because the reason why I spun the first time that brought out I think the end of stage one, like the cap of stage one. My wife got home and she had my son in her hands, and she leaned him over my steering wheel so I could give him a kiss so he could be put down for the night. And that's why I lost it. Like literally the second I kissed him, I lost it. So didn't want that to happen, but oh well. Then that sent me to the back, drove all the way up to the front again, and then spun it again, just pushing so hard. I just kept destroying the right rear. And once the sun came down and grip level went up, I was able to drive off the right front more, and I was still able to make moves. I just couldn't run the bottom. The bottom was just terrible in this setup. Too bouncy. The balance was off. It was just impossible. I mean, a few people have seen it make it work, like Peach or Shad, but not me. I had to run the middle or the high side, but I really needed that probably like 2-3 cautions ago not to happen, because I had a run on Shad and David down the backstretch when Shad was side by side with him. I was going to take a 3, but oh well. And then I know I told David after the race too. First off, congrats on the win for him. And then I was so loose trying to just run the bottom to try to get side by side with him, and I could have floored it and hit him and spun him, but I'm not that guy. I don't want to door anybody or wreck anybody for a win. I mean, I got close, but I was chasing it, and I just had to just keep the car forward and not let Braille by me. So it was a wild night, but yeah, the consistency is great. I just wish I didn't miss 7 races. If I didn't miss 7 races, I probably would be in the next championship round. So it is what it is, right?
An absolutely outstanding run of form for you, though, here tonight. Again, back-to-back podiums, back-to-back second-place finishes, this time under green flag conditions. We get this race to finish under racing conditions. And an outstanding race altogether, that being said. Hopefully this run of form continues going into the last 3 races of the season, beginning in Atlanta next Monday. Before we let you go and let you not only celebrate, but also spend more time with your family tonight. Obviously, a wonderful race here for you, second place tonight. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours, though. Again, outstanding drive and continuing that successful run of form, another podium here in the championship rounds.
Yeah, just shout out to Byron for the new paint scheme. He made me the new scheme I was running today, 2 days ago. So I wanted to debut it at my best track. So it's a remake of Ryan Blaney's Coke 600 car that he ran this past year. I think that car is sick. Shout out to you for broadcasting. I can't wait to go back and watch me spin several times and all the mistakes I made. Shout out to all my friends, family, my son, my wife. Today was a good day.
So a fantastic job here at Zach Meredith. A great run of form and another great day, second place here in California with 3 races to go in the season. Zach, enjoy the race, enjoy the week, and we'll see you again next Monday in Atlanta.
Thank you.
And we will move along to David Smeal Jr., our race winner for the first time. He finally breaks that winless streak. He finally closes the deal out, a race win tonight here in California. Walk us through it, because this was a wild one to go through.
Honestly, I don't even know where to start. I knew it was going to be an interesting night early, especially how the cars were handling in practice. Once the race got going, just get into a rhythm. Got lucky, missed that first big one. Got a lot of track position out of it. My main concern tonight was stage points, so I was more worried about that than anything else. And then as the race just cycled on, end of stage 2, we cycled out to the lead. Got a lucky break with a caution. Kept the track position, and then almost threw it away. Out of 2 the one lap, I got sideways. Shout out to Susie for keeping me calm the whole time, because I was on pins and needles for about the last 40 laps. And then just trying to time those green-white checkers, try to get the good of a jump as we could, just keep the momentum on the top side and make it hard as we could for everybody to pass us. So I'm almost speechless, to be honest. After throwing one away at Kansas, I didn't think I'd be sitting here at the end of the year.
And we bring that up here because you've had a couple of near misses, and it felt like it was that going to happen for you here? We know the uncertainty around the team going into next season. Being able to get a race win after being so close so many times, having been in the race lead late in so many races here, you've led within the last 30 laps of a race. You've led in those last 30 laps 6 times this season without a race win. This would be the 7th, and you grabbed the race win. What is the mental relief going in to these last 3 races? You're in a championship battling position now. You lock yourself into the championship 8, and now you've got that first win. What does that do for you setting up for next week at Atlanta?
It's a huge bit of confidence. I mean, still going to need a little bit of luck. There's a lot of good cars in that championship 8. I mean, a little bit of luck, one break here or there makes all the difference. We saw that tonight. To get that elephant off my shoulder is going to help a ton, and that's the focus now. Tonight it was just keep the car in one piece, get to the end of the race, and I got rewarded for that finally. And hopefully I'll find that lucky horseshoe sometime here in the next week, and I'll put it somewhere on the sim rig, and hopefully it'll keep me going for the next 3 races.
Before we let you go and let you fully celebrate your race win here tonight, your first of what could be multiple in these last 4 races, if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, David, the floor is yours. Congratulations again on an amazing run. It's a well-deserved race win here in California.
Yep. Obviously, everybody at Lady Liberty Motorsports GRD, Kevin for having the trust to put me in his car. It was unfortunate we made the change a little late. It took us out of the owner's points for the car. We got so close to putting that in there. Susie is like my mentor and the best coach I could ever ask for. I've got the best teammates. Katie, Gaiman, Dean's a pseudo teammate. Callie, obviously Kevin when he's here. To put this car in victory lane for them is huge. It's a little emotional because obviously we've been there so many times and to come up short. Nitro setups, as always, on the side of the car. Can't thank them enough for what they do for me on the open set side of things. My son actually designed the car that we ran tonight. So shout out to my oldest, my little one, my wife, because they let me come do this every Monday and Wednesday and let me blow off steam from work. So obviously, Carmen, you guys for the broadcast, Blake, Al, all the admins for HTL. It's been a heck of a season. We've got 3 more weeks to close it out, and I'm looking forward to it.
Outstanding job by Davis Mills Jr., race winner here in California, and a chance at a championship over the next 3 races. David, enjoy the race win tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you again next week in Atlanta.
Thank you so much.
That was David Smil Jr., your race winner tonight here in California. The full results coming up on your screen. Smil from 21st to the race win, 20 spots gained tonight, only bested on the movers list by Dean Clapper from 28th to 4th. In between those two, Zach Meredith and Jeremy Braille, they rounded out the podium here tonight. Chad Swatsworth, Josh Arnold, Tyler Ratliff, Zach Apperson, Hunter Peach, Alfred Denny, your top 10. Austin Mongol just outside the top 10 in 11th, ahead of Kyle Taub, who rounds out the top 12. 19 cars finished on the lead lap. Susie, Flores, Roberts, 13th, 14th, and 15th, ahead of Ross Baxter. Lily Sharp in 17th, ahead of Tucker Sawyer. Bailey Thompson in 19th. Caitlin Height not finishing this race in 20th out of the championship 8. That run comes to a close. Richard Odie in 21st. Blake Henderson, his chance at a championship also ends in a whimper tonight. 22nd place for him after viewing laps down early. and not being able to ever really get back in that fight. Dustin Hall, 23rd. A lot of retirements here as we look further down. Dustin Hall, Josh Gaiman, Jonathan Adams, Patrick Oberstadt, Eli Sasek, Mark Kissenweather, Dale Markowski, and John Hagen, rounding out the list of retirements, the long list here in California. We'll be live again on Wednesday, the ABN Champ Car World Series from Mid-Ohio. A chance of rain at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course Wednesday, 8 p.m. right here on Twitch. Don't miss it. On behalf of everyone here for HTL Cup Series, for Team Conti Sim Performance, and GeauxTime Cards, and everyone here at ABN Studios, thank you so much for being part of our Monday night. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you at Mid-Ohio on Wednesday. So long, everybody.